Good evening. We are back again at Saida's Orchid Room. And as I mentioned previously, we're having an interview tonight with one of my dear friends, King Landy, or should I say Achieng King Landy, also known as Soul Toucher, the poet. This is going to be a recorded session tonight. However, you'll be able to view it tomorrow night on my channel within a 24-hour period. And before we proceed, I would like to give you all a little background on how King and I know each other. We used to actually perform spoken word poetry together at a place called Casabe's that's located in Laurel, Maryland, off of Route 100. I'm sorry, Route 1. And at the time, it was a group of poets and poetess that actually supported different venues at various locations throughout the DMV. So, with that said, King and I became acquainted through supporting the Kasabe team that used to be led by Be Nice, Brian Dudley. Big shout out to you, B, and your family, the Dudleys, because quite a few of them are poets as well. Hopefully, we'll be able to have them on in the future. So, without further ado, I'm going to let Soul Toucher give us some background on who he is, first half, and then second half, we're going to let him perform some of his pieces. So, stay tuned. And as I always say, we're going to keep it real. Please like the vibe and subscribe. So, Soul Toucher,
Yes.
good evening again, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
Not a problem. Anytime. Anytime. I enjoy being invited to podcasts since I have been slacking on my own.
Ooh, you have your own podcast?
Yeah.
Why you didn't tell me that before we got to speaking?
I'm pretty sure it'll come up in the conversation.
But you know what? I'm gonna surprise you with something.
Oh, all right. That's what's up.
Saw you over a year ago, and I was wondering why didn't he say something to me about his podcast? I was waiting. I'm glad you mentioned it. My friend, that's my friend, y'all. So, one of the questions I want to get started with for you before you give us more background is how did you arrive at poetry? What got you in the field?
Uh, that takes us back to the floppy disk days, back in like the 95, 96, 97 era. Um, it was therapy for me.
Mm.
Um, because I had a lot of stuff going on in my life and I started writing to get that out because I did not feel the need to go to a therapist and I did not have a support system. So I just began writing my experiences, my thoughts, my feelings, what I observed, just my environment. And that got me to this right here, which is my original poetry book.
Wow. Is that from the 90s?
Yes. So
That's
again, this is from the floppy disk days. So when I first started writing, we that was back in the Windows 95 era where we had floppy disks, and I still have my floppy disk somewhere. I was just looking for them earlier, but I can't find them. But yeah, so I wrote everything, put it in this binder right here, and yeah, that's how I got into poetry.
cool. Now, at the time in the 90s, were you out of school at that time?
So when I started I moved back to Maryland in 95 after active duty. And when I really started writing, I started going to Essex Community College, which is now Community College of Baltimore County right now. Um, so that's when I started writing. So yeah, I was starting my associate's degree at that time.
So I know that you have a military background. Could you share a little bit of that with us, please?
Yeah. So I started as a military brat. Went to school in Germany from 87 to 91 when I graduated high school. My mother sent me to Florida because I was a kind of a bad kid. Um, and I was down there with family that I didn't know, but they knew me. So I was walking around looking for a job, couldn't find a job. So one day I was like, one day when I was walking, because I had walked like 3, 4, 5 miles, however long it was. So one day I was walking out the right eye, I saw the recruiting station. And I said, the next time I come down here, I'm going to go over there to the Air Force recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
So next time I went down there, I was going to the Air Force recruiter. Black guy came out of the Army recruiting office with a cigarette in his mouth. He said, where you going? I said, I'm going over here to the Air Force. He's like, nah, come over here. So sucked me in there and and that was what? That was like August or September. By November, I shipped off to Fort McClellan, Alabama for basic training and AIT, and that began my active duty career. I got stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. Um, did not like Fort Hood, Texas, because we was always out in the field. So at that time, what I did was a stateside swap, where you swap duty stations with someone of the same rank and the same MOS. So that sent me to Fort Knox, Kentucky, and I hated Fort Knox. So I got out of active duty, came to Maryland 95, joined the National Guard in 97. So from 97 to 2006, I was in the Army National Guard, deployed once to Iraq, 2004, 2005. Um, then I switched over to the Air National Guard in 2007. Didn't like that. So I came back into the Army National Guard 2008, and I've been in since then. And I have right now 31 years.
Wow. That's incredible. That's amazing. And let me take this moment to say thank you for your service, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, yes. Now, did you say you started to go to the Air Force division, but someone called you back to go to a different division? Or what happened? I got a little lost there.
So I was going to the recruiter
Mm-hmm.
because I told myself I'm not going to the army because most everybody in my family did army. So I was like, I'm not going to army. So I was going to the Air Force recruiter, and before I can get to the door of the Air Force recruiter, the army recruiter came outside, asked me where I was going. And I
Okay.
told him where I was going, and he was like, nah, come on over here.
So you did end up in the Army
Yeah,
as opposed to the Air Force.
yeah.
Okay. And I know you laughed at me the other night when I asked you if you knew how to fly a pilot. And I was serious when I asked you that because I really thought you were in the Air Force.
Nah.
So after you decided I'm going to, not do therapy, because I can relate to what you're saying completely about, journaling opposed to having to share your feelings or emotions with a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how did you come about spoken word poetry?
So I actually had no desire to get up on a stage and perform poetry, like literally zero desire. So what happened? So I have to go back because I was working at this place called Nutramax, and they make supplements for joints. And they knew that I wrote poetry. So they had asked me one day at a party to do a poem. So I did a poem, sweated my life away because people don't believe me, but I'm shy and I don't like being in front of unfamiliar crowds.
Not you.
Yes, me. Yes, and believe, yes, indeed. And I know people are going to be, and when they hear something that I performed in, they're going to be like, yeah, all right, whatever. But I don't like unfamiliar crowds. So I did that. And then the next thing I did was attend poetry workshops that were in Baltimore City. And I actually got, I wouldn't say yeah, published in like a newsletter. So that was an accomplishment for me. So then that gave me the fuel to want to publish a book. So leading up to the time where we met, um, I got promoted and got switched to another unit, and that's where I met Be Nice, Brian Dudley, and we were talking. A couple of us were talking, and he said something about poetry, and I was like, "Oh, word!" I was like, "I write poetry too," and he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Well, I host over at this place in Laurel Court, Kazabe, blah blah blah. Come on out, blah blah blah." And I was like, "All right, I'll come out." And he said something about performing, and instantly my inside said, "Hell no." So so I went, and I, if I'm not mistaken, I did take a notebook with me just in case I got the courage to do it.
Mhm.
But I got up there and he was like, "You gonna perform?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good." So I sat there. I I I think it took probably like 2 or 3 times before I got up enough nerve to get up there and perform something. And I performed something. It went over well. I was nervous as hell, but it went over well. So from there, you know, I started performing more and then listening to other poets that gave me motivation and ideas to be more dynamic in my writing. So yeah, that's how I got to performing.
Awesome. Incredible. Yeah, I was really surprised when I started coming out to Kasabe that a lot of the folks were from the military
Hmm.
and also did poetry. Actually, I think I was introduced to Be Nice through a young lady named Kenya Correa. Kenya is also in the military, and right now, I forget what branch. Big shout out
Hmm.
to Kenya. She used to be familiar with Kasabe, and she was telling me, "Hey, listen, this guy I know, he's going to start an open mic night. Why don't you come and, listen? And if you want to perform, do so." She herself doesn't write poetry,
Hmm.
but I can't remember. I think the first time we went, she met me there.
Hmm.
Once I got comfortable, that was when I returned, and it seemed like everybody I kept meeting was in some branch of the military.
Hmm.
And that was really amazing to me because prior to getting to know you all, I really didn't have a good opinion of the military.
Right.
So, I got to meet some very incredibly talented people. And I remember the first time I heard your poem, the one that set the house on fire, you know?
Oh my goodness.
I remember everybody standing and giving you a standing ovation because the topic was on point. And, if people are familiar with open mic nights, again, people keep it real there. It's not an environment for those who are timid and or, can't bear to hear certain
Right.
words, certain subjects. And the subject matter you had that night was definitely grown folk matter.
Hmm.
Uh, with that being said, I'm hoping, as I told you before, that you'll perform the at least part one because I know that that particular poem grew right.
Yeah, it did. It did. So as I said before, I write from experiences, observations, and this, that, and the other. So that is a direct experience that I was literally going through, and I wanted to put a funny spin on it to get shock value, but with the purpose of people looking past the humor and really grasping the subject matter. And a lot of people did get it, and they came up to me. It was like, "Man, I can relate," and I was like, "Damn, that was good."
Back on Skippy, all years later, all these years later, with the current situation I'm dealing with, situationship.
Hmm.
Sure enough, it turns out to be the title of your poem. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going to release it until I'm just going to hope and pray you perform it.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yes. when we did talk the other night, you told me that you have a few books out now. And at the time, you did it the last time we were performing together. So can you speak on your books, please?
Sure. So I published three books, poetry book. Well, two of them are poetry. The first one I published in what, 2016, and that's this one, Taste My Poetry, Taste My Soul. Um, this is pretty much a lot of the poems that I wrote that's in that big binder. I did not have a direction or anything like that. I didn't have any guidance. I just said, all right, somebody gave me the tools how to publish a book, and I'm going for it. I'm just going to throw things in there, and you know, when it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. And then from there, as my poetry, writing grew and, I got more comfortable, 2017, I published Ballads of a Poeteer. This is actually the second edition. The cover is different from the first one. I felt this cover was more fitting for the title of the book. People look at the book and like, oh, what was on your mind? I'm like, I was just posing for the picture, you know. It was just a random picture. And the third one, when did I publish this one? I published this one 2020. Um, this one is called So Toucha the Poet Presents the Book of King Quotes, Thoughts, and Invocations. So, how this book came along when I was rampant on Facebook and stuff, I would always post original quotes that I came up with and thoughts and stuff like that. So, in the think debating on what my third book was going to be, I wanted to write a autobiography or a novel or fiction or something like that. And at the time, it just was a lot going on and I couldn't focus. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go and find all those quotes and stuff that I posted on Facebook and stuff, and I'm going to put those together and I'm going to put those in a book.
Awesome.
So I literally scrolled through about 2.5 years of Facebook posts and pulled all of the ones that I didn't save in a Google Doc, put them in there, and I said, this is going to be my book. And I kind of arranged it in the theme of a Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has let me see. Book of King chapter 1, chapter 3, chapter 4. Yeah, so it just reads it literally reads like a Bible. So yeah, that's how my three books came along.
That's creative, and I need one of each.
I
So I'll
got you.
catch up to you about getting those.
Hmm.
You mentioned something that I really am interested in, self-publishing.
Hmm.
When my first book, my only book, February was published, I didn't know at the time about self-publishing, so I used a publisher
Hmm.
because I was, excited, anxious. However, they're reaping my royalties.
Mm. They reap on to this day?
Yeah. So
Mm.
I have gotten some advice on how to proceed.
Hmm.
But more than that, I just, would like to learn more about self-publishing opposed to, the situation I'm in with my current publisher.
Right, right.
And for
So yeah.
those listening, I said publisher, not producer.
Mhm.
Okay. Sometimes people don't hear correctly, my publisher. Oh.
Yeah, I got you. So when I had that same thing as you, and I can't remember the names of those. publishers, but those are the ones that you had to drop like $1,000 or more, and they would send you a certain amount of copies of your book, like a press kit and this, that, and the other. And I was like, first of all, I said, I don't have $1,000 to drop like that. And then the second thing I said is, um, I'm not spending that kind of money on that. There has to be a better way.
Mhm.
So I was talking to a couple of poets, and one of them was Soul, and she told me to go to Create Space. So I went on Create Space, and that's where I published my first book. So not too long after that, Amazon bought that. So now it's Kindle Direct Publishing. It used to be Amazon Direct Publishing, but now they call it Kindle Direct Publishing. So you can you got your file, your book file. You can make your own cover, or you can make a cover in there, and you publish it. You do everything that you need to do. Go out, get your copyright, um, and they print on demand. So it's like when somebody orders a book, they print the book, they ship the book, and you get whatever royalties from the book. You can also purchase author copies. So whatever, like let's just say you sell your book for $10 out of pocket, out your hard copies from you out of pocket. Um, Whatever royalties you get from what sells online, you get. You when you order your author copies, I think they're like $1 something, $2, something like that. So you can order as many books as you want for yourself so that you can sell yourself, or you could just, just publishing them, and once you publish it through that website, it'll go out to all the Amazon sites and they can do it the same way. Um, Barnes and Nobles, I think, has something similar to that too.
Wow. Times sure have changed.
Oh yeah, times have changed.
2012.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm loving what I'm hearing. So, with that said, what connected me to Melvin was the fact that I'd wanted to get February into an audiobook.
Hmm.
He helped me with that this year. So February was has finally been um, written in audiobook form
Hmm.
with sound effects. And I'm just telling you, it's been a big blessing to me. It actually has brought the book alive. I'm finding like I'm loving audiobooks more and more because I'm in my car like longer than I need to be.
Hmm.
Listening to in the car after a while just sours to my ear. So I even got old school systems where I go to the library and get the CDs and listen because I don't have that Libby Bluetooth stuff set up. So yeah, I do got to come up to speed.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this is awesome to me because my next goal too is to have a book of poetry.
Hmm.
However, not only do I want it in hardback, but I definitely want the audiobook.
Yeah, I've been telling myself for the last 4 years that I'm gonna do audiobook, but I'm kind of anti-audiobook, but I also want to do audiobook. And the reason why I say that is because what I've noticed is people don't read hard books that much anymore.
Mm.
Um, my third book I did ebook as well as the hard copy,
Mhm.
but I want to do it audiobook because I know that's where things are trending to. The only reason why I say I'm anti-audiobook is because of the reading levels of people around the world, especially in America. Um, it's easy for people to pick up in their device and listen to a book, but they don't see the words, so they can't pronounce the words, they can't enunciate the words and things like that. So, but I still want to do an audiobook. And I think and the thing about it is I think that audiobooks are better for poetry because if you can relate poetry to the Bible, do
Mm.
your own interpretation. So you can read something the way you read it and you feel it the way you feel it. However, do you hear it and feel it the way that the poet produced it. And that's the
Right.
big difference with poetry. Like I could pick up something that you wrote and I can read it and I can, draw my own imagination and conclusions from it. But if I actually hear you performing it, that's a different thing because I can feel your emotions. I can understand more vividly and draw a better picture from your presentation of it.
That's a interesting perspective because I didn't think about the level of literacy when it comes to books. I'm just a book lover.
Hmm.
And I just figure some of us who are book lovers, some prefer hardcover versus, those who are more modern and up to speed with the ebooks and
Hmm.
Kindles and all of that. But I didn't take into consideration about people's ability to read.
Yeah, and then you got to look at it like this: if the power went out, who's going to get your ebook? I mean, your audiobook or your ebook.
Dig it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's where, hard copies definitely come into place because it's like if they have a hard copy or they can find a hard copy somewhere, they have your book. And also, it's a printed book is a legacy, it's an accomplishment.
Yes.
But, audiobooks and ebooks are the same, but it's like I can pick this up and I can say, I did this, as opposed to saying, hey, look this up and see what I did.
I hear you. One of the frustrations I have with my first edition, if you would, of February, is that the publisher had a lot of typos and errors
Mm,
that I know better. So, after I'd received my package, as you mentioned, with my books I'd
right.
ordered, it was too late to send them back to get
Mm,
corrections done. Had I done that, I would have lost money and then they would have asked for more money. So, that's also another reason why I definitely am looking to go through self publishing, you know,
mm,
opposed to having somebody else. Well, again, it was a different time back
yeah.
then because they typed it up for you and all that stuff
Mhm.
based off of what you submitted, but it was a lot of stuff left out. And again, typos that made me say, huh? When I even read my own book.
Right. So
Dig.
let me ask you this. You're not in a contract or anything with them, are you?
That contract is done.
Okay. So what you should do is reintroduce your book as a second edition.
Yes.
That way because that's what I did with my second book because I didn't like the cover. I made it a second edition with a different cover. And like you, and we're poets, we sensitive about our shit.
Yeah,
Um, I would not let anyone proofread my books. No. People like, oh, I'll proof it for you. I was like, no, why not? Because if you proof it, you're not going to buy it.
period.
That was my mindset. And it was like, nah, I'm not, no, no. So I know there are some typos in my books, but it's like I feel more confident that my work is preserved and not judged before it's put out. Because the one thing, if you judge my work before I put it out, I'm going to curse you out.
Uh-oh. That brings me back to what Melvin said on our very first podcast. He had mentioned about a project he had submitted. Can I share? Melvin had mentioned about a project he had submitted in his class,
Hmm.
and he didn't want to really have everybody,
Yeah,
he
critiquing it.
wasn't, yeah, because he wasn't really fully prepared to present it. And then he quoted Erica Badu. You know, she said, as an artist, we're sensitive about our shit.
Hmm.
I think I summarized that good, right? That wasn't word for word, but
Hey, it's on point.
yeah, because our work speaks for ourselves. It speaks for
Hmm.
our lives and the lives that we've lived as well as the lives we're living.
Right.
Yeah. So How are we on time in Melvin? Because I'm anxiously awaiting to hear some of these pieces.
Oh my gosh, digging in the crates.
So, okay, we got a few more minutes, King, before we take a little break and then come back.
Okay.
To bring us up to speed to what you're doing now. I understand you had a big accomplishment in 2025.
Yeah, so after a long journey, I finally completed my bachelor's degree in graphic communications. I and with that motivation, I said I'm going to jump back in it. So I started my master's in October for strategic communications. And for those who are not familiar, that is along the lines of public relations. Um, what else? I had started a podcast. It's called the King and I Life Podcast. You can find that on all podcast platforms. It's been dormant for a while because it was me and one of my high school friends and my first wife. We were on there, and then things moved around, and then it was me and him, and then it fell off, and then we picked it up back up, and then I tried to keep it going, but with school, I kind of had put it on the back burner. But that's out there. What else? I actually started a podcast, Trek Through Poetry podcast. That's out there on all podcast platforms. And what I was doing on that one was breaking down my poems in a podcast. Uh Other than that, I've been kicking up my YouTube channel, Soul Touch of the Poet. Just getting cracking on that. Yeah. That's pretty much, the gist of what I've been up to these past few years.
Awesome. Incredible. Busy.
Yeah.
Good to be busy, right?
I tell people that I'm doing things to prevent dementia.
That's a whole nother topic in and of itself.
Look here. They say idle mind is the devil's playground. Idle
Mhm.
mind will lose all this ability to function.
Yes, this is true. Our health is our wealth.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, as the youth say, ain't is this how they do it, Melvin, with the fingers?
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Okay. Kudos to you, sir. Kudos to you. Yes. I'm so proud of you, King. You've come such a long way since I've talked to you and first met you. I'm so glad that we were able to reconnect. I want us to stay in touch,
Oh, definitely.
you know, and I would like to hear more poetry from you if you please come back in the future
Hmm.
as well. And even more about your podcast in and of itself.
Oh,
So
yeah, definitely, definitely. Might have to slide you up on it one day.
please, because next interview, I'd like to know like more about that.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Come back to visit us again. So I think it's about time for us to take a little break.
All right.
Stay tuned, folks, because when we come back, we're going to have some lovely poetry from Soul Toucher.
Yeah, lovely, she says.
Awesome poets. Awesome.
Uh,
And I remember how you piggyback off of my one poem.
ah,
Got that? Do you have that one?
I forgot the name of that one. I know I have it.
Oh, okay. Mine was You'll Always Remember My Name.
You know what? I think I wait.
You had a
Damn,
response for it because I had a part one and a part two.
damn minute. Is that in this book?
You know what? If so, we're going to have to perform that together
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because I ain't bring my poetry books tonight, but
Yeah.
we'll have to play that
Yep.
out.
There it is right there. It's right there.
And what's the name of it?
Mine just I'll remember your name.
I'll remember your name. Okay,
Yep.
'cause yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Memories, memories.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Okay, folks, we're going to pause for a minute and we'll be right back.
Not the menopause fan.
What you just say?
Is that the menopause fan?
I'll fight you talking about some menopause. Do you know how hard I'm fighting not to put men on pause?
I look.
Do you see my hair?
Is the struggle that real?
I just got this done last night.
Hmm.
Dead smack in the middle winter. Yes, I'm changing, sir. And if you thought that was a menopause fan, check this one out.
Oh, not the church fan.
Yes, sir. I keeps a fan. Please believe it.
All righty then. Go ahead with your bad self.
Okay. I'm trying. It's real.
Hmm.
I'm at that point, and I'm just happy that I made it. So,
I know that's right. I feel you.
oh goodness. Okay, folks, we're back with the Soul Toucher, and now we're in for a real treat. So, with that said, I'm turning it over to you, Soul Toucher the poet.
Here we go. Here we go. So, all right. As mentioned before, this poem that all adults in relationships can relate to, um, especially if you've been with someone for a long time. This is called Fucking Fighting, Part One. We fight, we fuss, we fight, we fuck. Don't fight, don't fuck, we fight. I'm tired of fucking fighting. You never want to fuck when we're not fighting. Then again, we're never fucking. I guess that's why we keep fighting. I'm not going to fight you just to fuck. And I'm not going to fuck to keep from fighting. Well, how the fuck do we keep from fighting? Why the fuck do you want to fight about fucking when half the time you're not in the fucking mood to fuck? And I'm tired of fucking fighting you about fucking and fighting. But no matter what, we're always fucking and fighting. Then you have more fight than fucking you. And I fight because I'd rather be fucking you. You get mad in a fight because I say fuck you, but I don't get mad in a fight when you say fuck you too. Now, I don't give a fuck about this fighting shit because you act like you give a fuck when I say I quit. Fuck. We spent the week with all this fucking fighting, and not one fucking fighting day was spent with any makeup fucking. I'm extremely tired of fucking fighting and too tired to fucking fight. Who the fuck fights without a fucking resolution? Fucking resolution should prevent fucking fighting. Fight the fucking and fuck the fighting. Can we say fuck this fighting and get back to fucking? Or else it will get to the point of fuck fighting and fuck fucking. Fuck you, fight you, fuck you. Then we won't have to fight or fuck because we don't fuck or fight. So I'm not going to fight because we're not fucking, nor give a fuck about fighting. And definitely not going to fucking fight to keep from fucking because this fucking fighting is pointless.
I love it. I love it every time I hear it. I love it.
Oh my God. And I think I have like so many parts to that.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was great, sir. Great.
Thank you much. Thank you much.
Yes.
So so this one is another one that was heavily favored and especially, with the revolutionaries of our times. And this one is called Burn This Bitch Down.
Mm-hmm.
The shame is most of them go nameless, gone by the same fate, the killer cops, or by the same black faces that shake their hands in hood places, that can't keep their pants above their waists. Burn this motherfucker down. Burn this bitch down. But it's been burning for centuries. Ferguson is burning. DC burned in 1835 and 1991. Watts burned in 1965. Cincinnati burned in 1829, 1836, and 1841. Same mindset, different times. Similar provocations for these heinous crimes. Most men today cannot conceive of a freedom that does not involve somebody's slavery. Am I a slave to you? Or are you a slave to me? Burn this motherfucker down. Burn this bitch down. But it's been burning for centuries. Ferguson is burning. Philadelphia burned in 1844 and 1964. New York City burned in 1863, 1870, and 1900. Atlanta burned in 1906. Same mindset, different times. Similar provocations for these heinous crimes. We hung in Mississippi. We hung in Alabama. We hung in Texas. We hung in Georgia. We hang at liquor stores. We hang on corners. We hang in the wind, aimlessly trying to contend. Burn this motherfucker down. Burn this bitch down. But it's been burning for centuries. Ferguson is burning. Seattle burned in 1886. Brownsville burned in 1906. East St. Louis burned in 1917. Same mindset, different times. Similar provocations for these heinous crimes. A system cannot fail those it was never built to protect. A systemic depletion of racial completion. Surrounded by niggas, how art we different but by the shade of our skin? Burn this motherfucker down. Burn this bitch down, but it's been burning for centuries. Ferguson is burning. Los Angeles burned in 1871. New Orleans burned in 1874 and 1891. Toledo burned in 2005. Same mindset, different times. Similar provocations for these heinous crimes. Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. If you are a man, take it. What is it that we're taking? The burning embers to the next block. The niggercation movement across the nation. Burn this motherfucker down. Burn this bitch down. But it's been burning for centuries. Ferguson is burning. Orangeburg burned in 1968. Baltimore burned in 1968. Chicago burned in 1968. Washington, D.C. burned in 1968. America learned in 1968 that America burned in 1968 because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968. Same mindset, different times. Similar provocations for these heinous crimes. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. By what definition do we define love and friends? Do you love me? Are you my friend? In a rhetorical state. Do you love me? Are you my friend? Do you love me? Are you my friend? Do you love me? Are you my friend? Burn this motherfucker down. Burn this bitch down, but it's been burning for centuries. Ferguson burned. Miami burned in 1989. Brooklyn burned in 1991. Los Angeles burned in 1992. St. Petersburg burned in 1996. Cincinnati burned in 2001. Queens burned in 2006. Sanford burned in 2012. Ferguson is burning in 2014. Don't take it for granted. Life is what it seems. America is burning in 2016. Same mindset, different times. Similar provocations for these heinous crimes. White cop, unarmed black boy drops. It takes one bullet to alter a life. It takes 5 bullets to shatter a dream. It takes a maximum of 16 bullets to empty a Glock. It takes 50 bullets to make us all stop. How many bullets will they inject in us? Legalize genocide. Stop this shit. Burn this motherfucker down. Burn this bitch down. But it will be burning for centuries.
Oh, TOUCHA. So TOUCHA. Grace us with another.
All right, I got you. One more. All right, this is from my second book, and this is called Response. I never casted you away for a familiar feeling. I was caught in love and lust game of wheeling and dealing. See, I could love you, which I've shown, but with a selfish heart, I kind of left you drifting alone. I lured you closer to me because I was better than him. To him, you were cold, but I wanted you to shine like a gem. I wanted you to see that standing on your own would be easier. My only problem was I was still in a relationship with her. I never gave you a chance because my heart was untrusting. I was scared to give you a chance because his access was cuffing. You'll never see me smile with her because I'm not happy. I'll smile on the outside because that's what the world is expecting. But my 100-mile-an-hour life is driving me crazy. When I think of you, it's like, damn, that just may be. Trust me, I'm lost, brokenhearted, and rebounding. If I could find a way to clear my head, I'd be astounded. When I look up the hill, I know you're near, but you feel so far. I know where we're at, but I don't know where you are. I don't want to abuse your heart, mind, or soul. I don't want to create a situation where you become cold. So I stay at a short distance, but not too far away, wondering how I can beg you not to turn, run at the same time, pray that you stay.
Mm, mm, mm.
Whew.
Even got my producer snapping to you. I'm
That's what's up.
trying to told you, sir. I miss
Oh my
you and
goodness.
those words flow from your mouth. I miss you.
Well, I thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you again. We're going to have you back. Like I said, in the meantime, we're going to make sure we post your information on the YouTube channel. I have a Facebook fan page so that people know how to reach out to you
All right.
if they have any direct questions. As I mentioned before, people will be able to view this interview tomorrow within a 24-hour frame. So please post any questions or, statements. Most of all, I know you guys have some remarks about the poetry you just heard here tonight. Saida's Orchid Worm.
Okay, yeah.
Please believe me. So I definitely will be catching up to you soon in 2026, if not sooner,
Right, right.
because we're going to do this again, sir.
Definitely.
And by then, maybe we could work something out where those who are trying to get into poetry will be able to, share some of their poems that they may have in a little pocket journal or notebook that they keep.
Look here. I tell people all the time, you're a poet. People be like, I can't write poetry. And I've influenced people to write some poems. And I tell people like this, if you have a story, you have a poem,
Period.
period. Stop trying to rhyme. Just get your thoughts out.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not about the rhyme. It's about the message.
Yeah.
Took me a minute to learn that because I wanted everything to rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that's what
right.
poetry is, though. Mm. So, sir, you have a happy
You do the same.
holiday season, that is.
Yes, indeed.
Stay warm out there.
Yeah.
Much success to you in all your endeavors.
Likewise.
Thank you, Soul Toucher.
All right.
Good night.
They're not.